Hello and welcome to an episode. I don't know which one this is, but an episode of the Autumn Poppy Designs podcast. My name is Paula and I am your host, coming to you from Cambridge, Ontario in Canada. And I usually run out of steam by now. This is a knitting podcast, of course, where I chat to you all about the projects that I've been working on, the designs I'm working on, things I've released. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know which episode this is because it's been quite some time since I've released a podcast episode. But to get back into the swing of things, I thought of releasing a very different kind of episode. I am going to chat to you about all the socks that I knit for myself last year. There's not a lot compared to my usual, but I still thought it might be really fun because I realized that I actually didn't knit that many socks for myself. I knit a ton of socks for my husband and my kids last year. But I'll save those for another time because I think I knit 4 pairs for my husband last year and at least 2 pairs for each of my kids. So that'd be 4 socks in total. So about 8 pairs of socks for them, if not more. And then I have a sock in the wind that I didn't finish knitting for myself last year, but that's okay. So let's get started. Is the teacher talking to you? Okay. So I started off the year pretty strong with designing a few patterns, like I am this year. So I mostly just designed socks last year, and the pairs that I only managed to knit 2 pairs of socks for myself that were just vanilla socks that weren't a pattern release or anything. So let's get started. I've worn these quite a few times. They are clean, but they are on blockers because they've been washed recently, so they look very messy. These are my Shishka socks, and that means pine cone in Polish. So if you've been following me along for a while, you know that I was born in Poland, emigrated to Canada when I was 6 with my family. So my Polish heritage is still very important to me, and I thought it would be really fun to start naming some of my patterns with Polish words. So Shishka means pine cone in Polish, and I named it that because I have these cute little pine cones going up the sock. And these are toe up. Yes, just confirming. So these were knit toe up, lace pattern on the front. There you go. Heel flap gusset and a 2x1 cuff. And I knit these using a mini or a half skein set. So it's 50 grams and 20 grams from Rose Hill Yarns. I cannot remember the name of the colorway, but you can find that in the Ravelry or Etsy listing. So yeah. And they're just shorty socks. They make me very happy. They're very comfortable. They fit great. So love these. All right, next pair. From there, I moved on to a little collection of 3 different sock patterns, all knit up with Rose Hill Yarns again. And they are shorty socks. Sorry, the shorty socks. They're my Spring Husk Sprung Sock Club. And you can currently purchase all 3 of them all 3 patterns in one set, or I will be releasing them as individual patterns in the summer. Sorry if you can hear that. Theo is doing some online learning in the kitchen. So, anyway, this was the first pattern to be released. It has this lovely cable that runs on the outside of the sock. It is toe up. And then the rest of the pattern, sorry, let me just, here we go. So yeah, cable that runs on the outside of the foot, and then just these little sporadic lace stitches that are meant to be like seeds. And yeah. So again, toe up, heel flap gusset, and just a little cuff. So yeah, I can't remember what these ones were called. I think they were called New Growth, because the cable reminded me of like I'm trying to think of the word, sprouts, like green sprouts in the ground, and then these were seeds. So yeah. Then the next pattern in that collection was this one. Oh, that's not coming out so nicely. Okay, let me see if I can put it on. I'll put it on here so you can see. It's a shorty sock, toe up. Again, I think these were toe up. No, these were cuff down. Sorry. I did a picot cuff, and then hopefully you can see that pattern. It's a leaf design with some seed stitch. That's it, seed stitch. So yeah, again, I'm not prepared for this at all. I cannot remember the name of these socks. No, I don't know. I can't think of it. There was New Growth, there was Time to Bloom, and then there was, maybe this was Time to Bloom? Yes, okay. These were Time to Bloom, and these are the Blossom socks. So this was the last pair in that collection. I am so sorry, I am so scattered, but yes, here it is. And these were toe up as well. I just did a regular shorty sock, heel flap and gusset. I did a bit of ribbing, and then there's this cuff. And then, yeah, the cuff is just a little lacy ruffle cuff. And I love them. I love this yarn so much. It's called Toasted Marshmallow, and it's just so much fun. And yes, love little shorty socks with ruffles on them. I think they look so much fun in a pair of sneakers or some jelly rolls. I think they'd be so cute, and I just love how the cuff sticks out. And yeah. So I knit all of my socks on a US 1 2.25 millimeter, and I used 9-inch circulars. And then when I knit the heel, so when I knit on 9-inch circulars for toe up, I usually just stick with the 9-inch circulars, but if I'm knitting them cuff down, I will knit the heel flap separate because it is just easier, because everything just gets so weirdly bunched up. So yes, Okay, next up, I knit my Orchard collection. And these are all socks that have been released individually. So they are available for individual purchase. And the reason they're called the Orchard collection is because in 2020, yeah, I think it was 2020, Laura from Camp Fiber Yarns released her Orchard collection, and they were a set of 4 different mini sock sets based on orchards. So she did peach, plum, pear, and cherry. So I had loved that idea and decided to design socks based off that. First up are my peachy keen socks. This is blowing out a little bit. It's much, much darker. No. Okay, so I just decided to use the sock set in a very different way, and I love this little lace panel here. And it makes me think of when you cut a peach open, the middle of it. Hope you can see that okay. It's got a little bump in the middle, and then it's like the peach round. So yeah, heel flap and gusset, and then I did a little leaf color work at the toe. I love these socks. I haven't even worn these yet. Most of these socks, of all the socks that I've knit that last year, those first 2 that I showed you were the only ones that I've worn so far. Then for her pear orchard, yeah, see, like I haven't even cut out the ends of most of these. They've all been blocked. So then this is her pear orchard colorway. And I'm just going to show you on the blockers what the pattern looks like because it's just so much easier. There you go. So these were knit toe up, and they have a little... Do you need help? So they have this little climbing vine pattern, and then these little lace sections. So they are knit toe up, and yeah, very simple socks, easy to memorize pattern. Yeah. And then I used the cherry yarn and I knit the cherry orchard socks. I mean, oh, I should mention, these I named the Perfect socks. Perfect. Yeah, just, it's not very clever, but and these are the cherry on top socks. I love this red. It's really blowing out. It's much deeper. No. No, it's not working. It's much deeper. It's more of like a lipstick red than like a bright, bright red. But yeah. So these are knit cuff down. And the ribbing goes into this like crown pattern with bobbles. These are the little cherries. And then I have this little lace design running down the leg of the sock and foot, and it's actually quite fun because once you're wearing the sock, this is what it looks like. And then on the back in the middle you have both these bobbles and then a little one in the back. So yeah, so the cuff is a lot longer because it goes into this pattern. And then I added a little pop color in the heel. And yeah, those are the cherry on top socks. Then around the same time as the cherry on top socks, sorry, everything's like really far in front of me, I designed my rose socks. I think they're really blowing out as well. I'm sorry, the lighting's really bad. But I love these socks. They were such a joy to knit. They are cuffed down, and I've always wanted to design an all-over lace sock. So this was so much fun. Let me twist it again to show you. So we got this little mock cable, and this is the lace pattern running down the foot. And then on the back of the sock, I added a little lace, that cable again on the back. There's just something about cables on the back of a sock that I just adore so much. I don't know what it is, but I think it's so much fun. So yes, rose socks. And this yarn is leftover yarn from my Vertices Unite shawl. This is the colorway Sunspot Baby from Crooked Kitchen Yarn. And she is a local to me dyer. And I picked this yarn up from her at a yarn festival we have here in Kitchener. Yes. Okay. Then the last pattern I designed last year were my colorwork socks. Watercolor socks. That's what I called them. Anyway, I used another skein of leftover yarn from Camp Fiber Yarns. I can't remember what yarn. I really don't remember where I had this yarn from, but I ended up having to get another skein from her because, or like a 50-gram skein of this yarn from her because I just ran out. And then the minis, these ones, it's a set of 8 10-gram minis from a dyer in the UK, and her name is Biff Sugar Yarns. That's what it is, Biff Sugar Yarns. And yes, it has this simple repeating pattern that's great for using up minis. I mean, each section, this was only like 2 grams of yarn. So I used like 4 grams for both socks. So it's a really scrappy pattern. And then while I ended up repeating colors, you don't have to. You can just use like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then I used a 50-gram for the rest. And they look a bit bigger because I had to use a US 2 for my color work because I'm still a bit tight with my color work. But I am really excited to wear those. A lot of ends to weave in, but now that Pip and Pin released her felting method, I'm excited to try that out for another pair. I'm sorry. I have a really bad cough right now. Anyway, the other thing I have to show you is my self-striping socks. These were a Christmas gift from Crux Fibers, and she designed this self-striping yarn for her Advent in 2020. Yes. So I adore all of these colors. It was so much fun. I love the yellow, and I knit these as a sock tube and then cut in heels and added toes. And I have a tutorial for that up in my playlists here on YouTube if you would like to see how I did that. But I used the SOS heel. And then it's just I cast on the cuff, knit all the way down, and then so basically I knit it like this, and then I cut that and then added in the toes, and I just used my own toe recipe, and then the heels are the SOS heels. So yes, like I said, it's a 2-part video that I posted here on YouTube, if you'd like to see how I did that. And then the very last pattern, the very last sock pair that I knit for myself were my Advent socks. And these are using Area 51 Fibers Christmas in July yarn. The reason I use that is because I didn't have any Advent socks or anything to knit on. So I had purchased that a while back, so I cast these on and knit those, and you can follow that journey in my Vlogmas videos if you want. But I cast down for the toe. I was knitting these 2 at a time for a while, hence the lines. That got really tedious, so I separated them and then knit them separate and finished them up. When did I finish these? I finished these on the 30th. Yep. And it's exactly 24 stripes. So these are 25 stripes. I still have enough yarn to make myself another pair if I want to, which I probably will, but I'll use a different contrast. This is what came with the sock set, and yeah. So like I said, I knit them toe up, heel flap gusset, and then just a small cuff. When I do my next pair, I will probably I might do a contrasting toe as well, and then see if I can get taller socks out of it. But yeah, that's it. So all in all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I completely lost count. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 pairs of socks. So almost a pair of socks every month. Hopefully I'll get more socks this year. Not that I need more, but you always need more socks. Actually, my husband told me that he doesn't need any more socks and that I should stop knitting him socks for a while. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little video. If you'd like to see some behind the scenes of my knitting and a bit more about what I'm working on, if you'd like to get first access to test knits that I am running, pattern releases, things like that, be sure to check out my Patreon. And if you'd like to see all of my patterns, then just click below and check out my Ravelry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back for a proper podcast episode. Bye.